This is your new Argon beam coagulator, your ABC. It's now called a Helix. We're gonna start in the back. Here's your main on-off switch. It's okay if you just leave it on, and then whenever you plug it in and out, you can just come around the front to plug it in. This gauge will show you what your gas levels are at. This needs to be turned off in order for this to work. So if you're gonna grab the machine, you would just hold this button down and it'll tell you if you have gas in your tanks or not. Of course, if your tank was low or empty, it would show up red. You have two tanks hooked up. Both of them are hooked up at the same time. So if you run out of gas during the case, there's this knob on the side that has a 1 and a 2. So if you're on tank 1 and it empties, you just turn this knob over to tank 2 and it automatically flips to your other tank during your procedure. Down here, we have pockets for all your foot pedals. On this side is your Bovie foot pedal with your cut and flag. On this side, we have your bipolar pad. And down here is your Argon beam foot pedal. So if they're not using hand control, they would foot pedal, and it says ABC on it, and this is the only one you're gonna need if you're doing a lawn. So those have all their little storage places on here. If we turn this around, this has storage in it as well. You can keep a couple hand pieces, a couple of your ABC pads, and anything else that you want here. Here's your button on the right-hand side to go ahead and turn it on. And that will come up. I'm gonna take this. This is mine, I'm gonna show you. There we go. So it's gonna do a little self-check to tell you that you're ready. So on this left side of the machine is our System 5000. Just treat this as you would any other ESU or Bovie unit. There's no difference, whatever they would want their cut on, their coag, this is all the same. On this left side over here is your bipolar settings. Again, it's all the same, and to go between micro and macro, you just hit this up and down button. And then of course hit these, and the same thing over here. You just hold it down and put it to whatever setting you want. Same thing with your cut and coag. So to toggle in between here, you have pure, blend 1, blend 2, and blend 3. And that's just kind of pure cutting. Blend 1 is cutting with a little bit of coag. Blend 2 is cutting with medium coag. And then this will come down to blend 3, and that will be your blend of cut and coag at the same time. On this coag, you have your pinpoint, which is very localized. You can use that if you're using a needle tip Bovie. Standard, which is what most of the surgeons use, and then your spray, which is kind of where you get that bigger field of coagulation on that. Your volume settings are over here. And when we go ahead, this will continue to blink. And this is where we will, where's my pad? Plug my pad in. So it says single flow dispersive electrode. You can go ahead and hit yes. And then that will kind of go away. That's the only pad I had. Typically the ABC and your other ones like these are your dual foil. I just brought this one just to have, because I don't have an ABC pad at home. Over here is your Argon beam. We have different settings on that as well. The ABC Flex, that's pretty much for over like an endoscopy or specials if they use that, so we're not gonna mess with any of that. Laparoscopic is just your laparoscopic mode if you're using a lap probe to dry up a liver bed or whatever you're gonna use it for. The main thing you need to remember when you're in laparoscopic mode, if you don't have anything evacuating smoke or anything out of there, you want your minimum of Argon to be at 4. Oh, I guess I have to like put the settings in. So you want your thing to only be at 4 because the pressure will build up in there if you don't have anything evacuating thing. A lot of people that use air seal, they don't have to worry about that because it's continually evacuating. So just make sure that your highest setting of 4 liters per minute, which I think is actually, why would this thing go? Oh, I think it's because I don't have anything plugged in. So once you get it on there and you get your settings, you only want this to be at 4.
Okay.
You kind of go down to your open mode. That's for your basic triple option handpiece or your single function handpiece. Whatever your surgeons are currently using, you know, for open procedures, that's totally fine. And then you have manual where you can put your own settings in on your own. When you plug your handpiece into your, so you would plug this part. Get this part out of here. So this would, as always, be hooked into your Argon, and you see how it says AR right here, and it says AR right here. That's where your Argon beam hand pieces will go into. So we can just screw that into there. Oops, on this. Plug this one on into here. Put some stuff down. No, it should be in there. Okay. So it's pretty simple to see where these hook into. You don't have to label them anymore. This is where you would plug in your, if you have another accessory foot pedal, which is already plugged in down here, hooked in the side of the machine, so you wouldn't have to worry about that. This is where you would put your regular Bovie pencil if you're going to use that as well, if they're using just like a probe to use. And then this is where you would plug in your bipolar forceps. Of course, whenever you plug this in, make sure you always hit purge, and that way it will purge your handpiece. If for any reason you forget to do that and your surgeon goes to use it and there's no gas coming out of here, just make sure you hit it. And if it doesn't do it, you can go ahead and hit it twice. It just brings gas through your handpiece.
Okay.
And I think that's about it.
Thank you.